What's up, you lovely people? Frank Valkyria, welcome to the channel. How you guys doing? Let me know in the comments below. So let's dive into a new video for today. What do we have in our hands? Which other hot potato we have to deal with? Actually, many. We're gonna talk about 2-3 things, so stay until the end if you want to, of course. Here we go. Start with Aquaman 2. Apparently Aquaman 2 underwent major reshoot. This is the article claiming Cosmic Book News claiming that. Follows the earlier news that Ben Affleck was brought back to play Batman, replacing Michael Keaton. So apparently there is this Casey Walsh that via Twitter said AQ stuff is false, reshoot were major and lasted over a month, Walsh said. Interestingly enough, it has been reported that head of Warner Bros. Discovery, David Zaslav, isn't happy with the movie. I have to admit, yesterday I saw the video of Tag, that umbrella guy, that he talks about this as well. And there were more articles actually that I couldn't find immediately right now, about David Zaslav being unhappy with where the movie was going. And obviously I have a lot of opinions about that. And no shit, huh? Considering what it's happening, Amber Rich is not liked better right now than she was 5 months ago. So there must be some damage control in place. So anyway, the reason for this reshoot primarily seems that Aquaman 2 was getting released prior to The Flash, with The Flash introducing Michael Keaton Batman, where Keaton would appear in Aquaman 2. Since Aquaman 2 is now getting released after The Flash, it wouldn't make much sense for Aquaman 2 to feature Keaton, so Affleck has been brought back in those scenes. It's also been said that Zaslav is a big fan of the Affleck Batman. In regard, of course, of AH, there was this rumor about her being in hospital having a baby. You remember that DC Walter Amada, the head of DC, testified for Johnny Depp in the trial, and he said there was no chemistry in between Jason Momoa and Amber Rich, to the point where they had to use movie magic, I'm paraphrasing him, to make it work. So I'm not surprised if they're trying to do more cuts to the story here and reshoot in order to make the movie work. So here it says that, in fact, there was this scene where Amber H character Mera, she's in the hospital and having a baby, and then she will be featured at the end of the movie in a big action sequence, but this action sequence is being scrapped, so basically she will not be featured. I really wonder. I think that there is, I don't know, at this time there is only rumors, but if they did a major reshoot that lasted a month, I have to admit, I would imagine that perhaps there could be also some recasting in place. But I don't doubt, I'm not particularly secure or sure about that, because it will entail also other lawsuit that probably AH could carry on for breach of contract or whatever, depending on this contract, what it's happening. So at the most, probably they really try their best to reduce at the most. And again, they have to do it because they're not going to make a bunch of money on this movie like this. Because Warner Brothers already having problem with movies like Black Adam, which is connected with Shazam. And even with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in this movie, the movie hasn't managed to crack 385 million. It's sitting at 384 million apparently at the time of this article. And it seems that in between production, distribution and whatnot, the movie was supposed to make 600 million just to break even. I have to admit, I don't know how much are those distribution costs and so on, but to me it seems a lot of money, 600 million to break even. I mean, those movies, they got to cost a little less, honestly. Who's getting paid this much, or why it costs this much now for distribution and promotion? That sounds crazy, honestly, that a movie has to make that much money just to break even. I mean, in my opinion, I think we're hitting also a little bit of a superhero fatigue. But anyway, yeah, so Warner Brothers got to do something here. Otherwise, they're going to lose a big, like, it's going to be a big flop. Anyway, I just want to share you also this other strange news here. Let me check if it's still recording. Yes. I had a problem before. I apologize. So we have Quentin Tarantino here recalls that pushing back against Johnny Depp being part of Pulp Fiction. Apparently, there was a producer that wanted to have Johnny Depp in a role, even smaller role, in the now classic movie Pulp Fiction, directed by Quentin Tarantino. And here it says, do you think Johnny Depp playing the role of Pumpkin in this movie, which is the opening scene and the closing scene, that's it, do you think that will add that much to the box office? I have to say, I don't think Johnny Depp would have detracted from this movie by any means, but I think Quentin Tarantino probably wanted to have other flair, and in fact he brought back Tim Roth, that he was already working with him in Reservoir Dogs, to play that part. I didn't know exactly who I wanted to play this part or that part, so I wrote a giant list with a ton of names. I wanted to get them all pre-approved, sure, and I didn't know if it's gonna work out, if I would like vibe with the person, or if they would even do a good job, but I wanted to get them approved. So anyway, that's a nice, interesting movie fact that resurfaced. I have to say, Johnny Depp in that role at the time, I mean, Johnny Depp was the shit. I mean, it was a huge star, heartthrob, super young, him and Brad Pitt, you know, there were those gigantic names of back in the 90s. So I think would have brought maybe a different flair to that role, but for sure Johnny Depp would have done a great job anyhow. So the movie would have been as good, for sure. With no issue, even though I have to say Tim Roth, Samuel L. Jackson part, it's just fantastic, you know, hats off. So I just want to conclude this video with a little bit of Bouzy. Apparently I got blocked by this guy myself, even though, like I say here, I wasn't very busy with this guy, but apparently this morning, because of what is happening with this documentary of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, he's trending again. So I went to check on his Twitter to see what was happening, and I found out he actually blocked me. So that means that I'm part of the list of people which he's displeased with. And there is Ned the lawyer that right now is checking in his bankruptcy filing, and they found out already that I think he left both Sentinel. At least I read from a tweet of Ned the lawyer. So it's very interesting because he was showcased in the documentary right here in the trailer, and he has this little snippet talking about hatred and it's about race, right? So this is giving more credence to the fact that people were already speculating that he was working for Meghan Markle PR campaign, trying to discredit anybody that was going against them, you know, like YouTubers, right? Talking about news, sharing news, being put on list, blacklisted, sounds a bell, rings a bell. And here we have like older tweets which they have merged of Christopher Bouzy talking smack about William and Kate. And he explains, banana ears aging quickly, like when you go to the grocery store and buy bananas, and by the time you get them home, they already have spots. Forgive me in advance for being petty, I just saw a recent photo of Williams and Kate, and those two are aging in banana ears. That's not very pleasant. So he's trying to discredit the royal family, and gives even more believability, if it's a word, to the fact that he was working as a PR. This honestly is not going well for this royal family in the US. I think they're making a huge mess. I told you that I have some opinions in regards. I'm trying to dive a little deeper. If you want to see more videos also on this trailer or documentary about the Harry and Meghan Markle story, let me know in the comments. I will be interested to cover it. And we'll see where this goes. In a few days, the documentary is coming out. It's already getting a lot of backlash because, like we did the video yesterday, a lot of the images of the trailer, actually they featured images which they are part of other things. They are not even related to Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. They just put them together literally from a premiere of Harry Potter, some other trial cases that happened, some other paparazzi following somebody else entirely, and to the point where I read the thread here that they are calling a meeting, an emergency meeting in Netflix to find out what is happening in the final product and final cut of the documentary, because the internet keeps the receipts. Anyway, guys, please consider subscribing. I talk to you later. Ciao.